I am Rosie and I make stuff. In this video I'm going to be making a 50s slip. This is Vogue 9372. I'll put a pic on screen because this is a little bit shiny. It is a 1950s slip and I bought it off eBay. This envelope is reprinted but the contents inside is original. I'm hoping that it's going to be a nice simple project that I can do in a couple of hours. Maybe. Yeah, I just got really fatigued by big long projects, so I want something nice and simple to do. And I do like wearing slips under my dresses for work, and I have some linen. The linen that I'm using actually started off as a pirate shirt. Yes, that one. But halfway through I realised that all the billowing fabric, which, you know, is supposed to look ephemeral and romantic, made me look like I was wearing a tea cosy. And I hated it. So I've unpicked this fabric and I'll use it in this project. So this is my pattern, Vogue 9372, which doesn't actually have an entry onto Pattern Wiki, so I can't date it exactly. The seller said it was 1950s, and I think that's about accurate. I paid £8.50 for this pattern on eBay, which is a little higher than I would like, but it was exactly what I wanted and the size I wanted, so why not? It is an unprinted pattern, so I transferred all the pattern pieces onto fresh pattern paper, so I could draw and write all over them. All these pieces are cut on the bias, which I've marked there, so that's what makes it all stretchy and you can put it on easily without any closings or fastenings. The instructions have a nice diagram so you can see what all the notches mean because they are a bit complicated, and it's nice to have all the information in front of you on the pattern piece. Here I've cut out the top pieces for the bra top, and this is my little hand sewing kit, which I usually keep in my bag. I decided I was going to hand sew this project, weirdly out of laziness, because my sewing machine is currently all rigged up for a different project in dark green thread and I could not be asked to rethread it. And to be honest, I wanted to do some nice therapeutic sewing and watch season 4 of Agretsuko. I skipped ahead slightly in the instructions and started with the straps because I didn't want them to start fraying on me, so I just folded them up and pinned them together so the raw edges weren't exposed and weren't going to catch on anything before I sewed them up. Next I could turn to the bra front pieces. Each bra front piece has 2 darts in it, which I pinned together and sewed them individually because they were quite close together. Hand sewing is nothing to be scared of. Let's just say right here, it is slower, certainly, and maybe a little bit uneven. You can keep your hands busy and watch something fun, which I think is good. We'll just skip through this quite quickly. It's just a back stitch. And then I can open it out and just press it with my fingers and move on to the next dart. These kind of slips also have sort of gathers under the bust. And now I've got 2 darts. Hooray! And I can join these 2 bits together. I'm very tempted to make this again and have some insertion lace on this seam. I think that would look really cute. Just marking my seam allowance. I tend to do it in coloured pencil because I'm a Philistine. And just put it together with a back stitch. Now I can gently fold under these seams. Oh, I've forgotten all terminology. Yeah, they are seams. The seam allowance. Just fold them under and I can sew them down to keep those raw edges nice and protected. And I'm having a lot of trouble with these seams because this linen is quite springy
and doesn't really want to sit flat. So lots of pins and a little bit of encouragement, and sew them down. And I have some bust cups. Woohoo! I sew together these straps off camera because that's boring, and just put them to one side. And I can now join on the back piece. And they match up quite nicely, which, hooray, is always a good feeling. You could of course use French seams for this kind of thing, but to be honest, French seams confuse my brain, so I just sewed with the back stitch where I wanted the seam to go and felled the inside. I did a fitting at this point with the straps pinned on, and what a surprise, I need them to be quite a bit shorter because I am in the petite size range, so nice shorter straps, quite nice. It's been a while since I did this and I don't actually know what I'm doing through most of this footage, so I seem to be folding down the top. Oh yeah, and I had great fun with that, so yeah, I did that off camera.
5 minutes later.
And added some nice little lacy bits, which you can see there it doesn't have any stretch on it, so I will hope that that would like stop the bias seams from sort of stretching out of shape. I'm just whipping this down and I'll add the lace later on. I think it looks quite pretty. You can do this with a bigger lace trim, but I didn't have anything that would be the right size, so maybe next time.
Apologies, this is a bit white on white. I've had to get out my mega roll of fabric because I did not have pieces big enough for these chunky bits, because these have to be cut on the bias and they're huge. So I need to cut a fresh piece and wash it. I wasn't sure how much I needed, so but one thing I realised, which is why I got out the top piece there, is these are a bit too long. I've measured them against myself and they come down to about mid-calf, which is way too long to be under any kind of skirt, so I need to take off about 4 inches or so, which is going to massively reduce the amount of fabric I need, so that's good.
Approximately 10 hours later.
While I'd like to say that this is a nice atmospheric shot, my flat is actually very dark in this kind of wintry weather, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. The whole white on white isn't great. This is the front piece, and this V up here connects to the bust pieces. And it is cut on the bias, so it has lots of stretch. And it is a big chunky bit of fabric. Very, very awkward. Saying that, I'm still going to make more of these because they're great. Really like it. I have my front and back pieces pinned together, and I'm going to sew them together into a tube and just fell those down just to keep them nice and neat. And I have my tube ready to attach to my top bit. These are technical terms, you know, top bit and tube, you know what I mean. Now I'm going to spend a very long time pinning these together, as they are two stretchy bits of fabric, so they need to go together in just the right way. So just pinning together the seams, and everything else will just get gradually eased in before I sew it together. And more felling, so much felling. It is a bit repetitive, but like I say, I was watching Netflix, I was perfectly happy. So here is the final slip. I'm not trying it on for you because 1, it is cold, and 2, it is quite a sheer slip. It's quite a thin linen, so we'll just leave it on the mannequin. You can see this dress form is pretty much the same size as me. There is some gapping at the sides which annoys me intensely, and I will have to change the pattern a little bit. But other than that, it's absolutely lovely. It hits just above the knee, which is just where I want it to be, and drapes rather nicely, if I do say so myself. A+, would do again. In every colour, thank you very much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I will do fun little dances if that will make you happy. I don't mind. I do have more videos lined up. I've been off for a bit because of stupid working for a living commitments, but I will be back sewing very soon. Bye for now. Hope you're well.